Hello, dear friends, and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Warm welcome to you all to the Cricket Happenings show today with your host Ram. Well, dear fans and subscribers, uh, you know, when if I don't do my cricket show, I really feel very grieved about it. And especially yesterday, there was a wonderful match which happened where ABD Villiers' bat of the Royal Challengers Bangalore was doing all the talking, and he was cracking. He was actually using the bat like a whip to whiplash the bowlers, and that's what he precisely did. He whipped the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowlers to all parts of the ground to get a victory for the Royal Challengers Bangalore from a pretty impossible situation that they were in. So, and the reason that I say that I couldn't actually meet you all yesterday, I couldn't actually connect to you, was due to some personal commitment. As you know, the cricket show which I do really right now is done for my passion. And I am very happy to know that a lot of people are hooking onto it, people like it, people enjoy it, a lot of comments. In fact, sometimes I don't even get time to respond to all the good comments that are coming up from a lot of persons, unfortunately. Well, dear fans, subscribers, I can only say thank you, but I'm very sorry that yesterday, due to my personal commitments, I was not there with you all to do my cricket show. But today what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a brief look back first in this Cricket Happening show on that particular match where, as I said, AB de Villiers' bat was like a real, it was like a whiplash for all the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowlers. I'll be talking about that, and then we will look at one wonderful match that happened today where the match really turned on its head when Rajasthan Royals were taking on the Kolkata Knight Riders. In fact, it was the Rajasthan Royals bowlers who were really suffering when the openers Gautam Gambhir and Robin Uthappa of Kolkata Knight Riders were really, I would say, going like a train, and they were absolutely on course for a victory. What would you say when the score is 121 with in the 15th over, 5 overs to go, and you require probably around 40 odd runs, and this is what happens. In fact, what really happened, what really transpired, it was 50 runs which was required, and those 50 runs were something that the Kolkata Knight Riders couldn't manage. The reason being Shane Watson picking up 3 wickets, Praveen Tambe picking up the first hat-trick of the IPL 2014 to derail the Kolkata Knight Riders innings in a very big way, and in the end the victors were the side which was the Rajasthan Royals side by it was by 10 runs that they won the match, a match which was seemingly under control for the Kolkata Knight Riders, really spinning out like a top here, and in the sense they really succumbed. As I said, 6 wickets fell for 2 runs, which was a real shame, and Rajasthan Royals were the victors in this particular match. So I'll be talking about that, probably looking at it in greater detail. But currently we have one match which is going on in the Indian Premier League 2014. That's happening at the Firozshah Kotla ground in Delhi, where Delhi Daredevils are taking on the Chennai Super Kings. Delhi Daredevils, I wouldn't say it's a good score. They are not, even though Dinesh Karthik came into form and Murli Vijay has just been dismissed by the bowler Jadeja. Delhi Daredevils are 131 for 5 currently. We are in the 17th over. It was the Chennai Super Kings who won the toss and inserted the Delhi Daredevils in, and currently the required run rate would be 8.10 for the in fact the run rate currently which is going on is 8.10 for the Delhi Daredevils. First, so in this particular Cricket Happening show, first we are going to look at the match, as I said, between the Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore. So let's talk about this particular match. Well, it was the Sunrisers Hyderabad who batted first, and they put on 155 runs on the board. The feature was David Warner. Definitely it was not easy for David Warner. In fact, Shikhar Dhawan and David Warner had to really repair the damage there, and Dhawan contributing 37 of 36 balls with 4-4, but not looking very impressive, I would say. And David Warner, well, as is his wont, he played his part wonderfully, making 61 of 49 balls with 4 fours and 3 sixes, which helped the Sunrisers Hyderabad innings to a total of 155 for 6 of their 20 overs. Finch was dismissed early on in the piece, 13 of 8 balls with 1 4 and 1 6, 6 to KL Rahul, 8 to Darren Sammy. Naman Oja cracked 15 of 11 with 1 4 and 1 6, and in the end it was 155 for 6 with Irfan Pathan hitting a boundary of the last delivery. The bowling was very good as far as Royal Challengers Bangalore were concerned, with Mitchell Stark returning figures of 2 for 21, 1 for 39 for Dinda, who was costly. Varun Arun, well, he bowled, but still he probably a bit costly there. 2 for 33 for him, 1 for 29 for Harshal Patel, and none for 30 for Yuzendra Chahal, the red-armed leggy. Now let's look at the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Now Royal Challengers Bangalore started their chase, and well, they had Chris Gale cracking 27 in quick time of just 19 deliveries with 3 fours and 2 sixes, but they lost 2 cheap wickets, and a very big wicket at that, of the captain of the RCB, Virat Kohli, for a blob, as Bhuvaneshwar Kumar got his tricks going by getting first the wicket of Parthiv Patel, clean bowl for 3, and then Virat Kohli was into the pavilion out for a blob. So that made it 38. It was, and then Gale departed after making that very quick 27. He was gone for 38, and the score was 38 for 3 in the 7th over. Really Rusu was actually making. He's one of those talented players from South Africa, and he was making his debut. But he was also a goner, as Karan Sharma, the leggy, dismissed him. And Karan Sharma was the best bowler today, returning figures of 4 overs, no maiden, 3 for 17. In fact, he picked up the wicket of Gale, then he picked up the wicket of Really Rasu, and then he went on to pick up Yuvraj Singh, who had cracked him for a 6-2. He was gone for 14, and that meant when Yuvraj Singh went, the score for the Royal Challengers Bangalore was 95 for 5 at that particular stage. And looking at the overs that had been bowled, in fact 15th over, it was the 15th over when Yuvraj Singh was dismissed with half the Royal Challengers Bangalore batsmen back into the pavilion. But well, it was AB de Villiers at the crease, and he was not having much support from the other end to come. They only had Mitchell Stark, Patel, Dinda, Arun and Chahal, so not much of batting to come at all, I would say. And well, AB de Villiers had to take up the gauntlet. He took up the challenge, even though it was, if you look at the equation, precisely when Yuvraj Singh was dismissed, it was 14.3 overs, so that really meant legally you would see 33 deliveries left, and the equation was another 60 runs to get in 30 deliveries. And look at what AB de Villiers did. AB de Villiers went on swinging the bat. As I said, he used the bat like a whiplash. He also hit his country teammate Dale Steen for 24 runs in an over, courtesy 2 sixes that he hit. One was a slower one which was picked up, the other was in over the square leg boundary, and AB de Villiers was absolutely unstoppable. I mean, after once Yuvraj Singh departed, every bowler had to suffer at the blade of AB de Villiers, and AB de Villiers got them the victory with just 1 ball to spare. What an innings that was. That is AB de Villiers. Why do you call AB de Villiers dangerous? If AB de Villiers as a batsman can take 24 runs off an over from one of the best bowlers today in the world, I would say that Dale Steen, one could really say that very easily. Not only that, it also, when the match was won by the Royal Challengers Bangalore, Dale Steen was applauding. He embraced de Villiers, even though he was in the opposite team, just to tell him that how great that innings was. And what an innings from AB de Villiers. He closed the match for the Royal Challengers Bangalore by slamming an unbeaten 89 runs of just 41 deliveries with 6 fours, and see the number of sixes he hit. 8 sixes, and I think every bowler was, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was, if you look at that, all those massacres that went on when AB de Villiers was the crease, and they lost Mitchell Stark, run out for 5. Patel was there in the end. It was all over. It was Royal Challengers Bangalore, thanks to AB de Villiers going over the finishing line with 1 ball to spare. And look at the bowling figures. Dale Steen's bowling was repaired beyond control, I would say, because he had figures of 3 overs for 15, and look at the damage that AB de Villiers did to Dale Steen's bowling figures. His final figures read 4 overs, no maiden, no wickets for 39 runs, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was excellent, I thought, under the circumstances. 4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 16 for him. Look at the bowling from Karan Sharma, the leggy. 4 overs, no maiden, 3 for 17. 3 overs for 35 for Ishan Sharma, very costly. 2.5 overs, no maiden, none for 25 for Irfan Pathan. 2 overs for 25 for Darren Sammy. And well, with no shadow of a doubt there that A.B. de Villiers was the man of the match. What an innings that was from A.B. de Villiers, and no wonder he is the most dangerous T20 player in cricket right now. The way he played, it was something phenomenal. And you know, if you have 60 runs to get, 5 wickets to go, and 30 balls left, it is like you require 2 runs of every single ball. And look at what A.B. de Villiers absolutely did the impossible to make that innings. What a knock that was. So well, that concludes that report. So A.B. de Villiers getting the man of the match, and Royal Challengers Bangalore winning the match, which would do them a great deal of good in the Indian Premier League 2014 going forward. Now let's have a look at another sensational match that happened here today in the morning, when the first match was played at the Sardar Patel Stadium, Mothera in Ahmedabad, where it was the Rajasthan Royals who were the first team to bat after Kolkata Knight Riders won the toss and invited the Rajasthan Royals to bat. The Rajasthan Royals went on to score 170 for 6 of their 20 overs. In the meanwhile, I see that Delhi has moved up to 151 for 5. That's a recovery there. Dumini is batting 23 of 14 balls with 4 fours. It's just a cricket update here. We have 2 more overs to go in this particular. I'll come back to that later when the innings is over. So let's keep it going on the Rajasthan Royals Kolkata Knight Riders match. So Rajasthan Royals making 170 for 6 after batting first of their 20 overs. Ajinkya Rahane looked good. The opening partnership gave them a good start of putting on 52 runs in the power play overs by putting on 52 runs, with Ajinkya Rahane's contribution being 30 of 22 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. He was run out of the ball with a Sunil Narine hitting the stumps. KK Nair, who actually the other day got them to victory, also got the man of the match, continued to impress by playing a neat little innings of 44 of 35 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. Got good support from Sanju Samson. Always when he plays, such a talented player like Sanju Samson always looks attractive, and once again today he made 37 of 31 balls with 3 fours, combining into that beautiful partnership that he had with Sanju Samson, Nair and Samson combining together, and then Shane Watson hitting some strokes down the ground, making 31 of 20 balls with 2 fours and 2 sixes. And after that, I thought the Kolkata Knight Riders bowlers really came into the fray and finally restricted the Rajasthan Royals innings to 170 for 6 of their 20 overs. Vinay Kumar, a bit costly there, 2 for 42 his returns. Umesh Yadav, 3 overs was costly. Umesh Yadav is having a very poor IPL, one could say that. 3 overs, none for 31. Shakib Ul Hassan, 4 overs, 1 for 25 was good. 4 overs for 2 for 28 for Sunil Narine, as usual, pretty economical. 3 overs for 27 for Andre Russell, and 2 overs for 14 for Ryan Tendoshat. Now let's have a look. Now this is the innings for which I really want to talk and take my time to compile this report. Now Kolkata Knight Riders had a great start. In fact, they had an opening partnership. They had Robin Uthappa and Kolkata Knight Riders chasing 170. I had a great start with Robin Uthappa and Gautam Gambhir, the captain of the Kolkata Knight Riders, really putting up a wonderful partnership. They had really set the foundation stone for the Kolkata Knight Riders to win the match, with both of them playing some good strokes. I wouldn't say pretty confident, but they definitely were there at the crease, and that was the big point for the Kolkata Knight Riders. It kept on going. Robin Uthappa was very impressive, not afraid to hit over the top. He played some very classic strokes, I would say. Gautam Gambhir was targeting the cover region much, but he also played some good strokes, and both of them went on to a partnership. In fact, Tim Southee was treated pretty severely by Robin Uthappa, I thought, and also there was some Bhatia was really carved for runs, both by the openers Robin Uthappa and Gautam Gambhir, who hit him for a 6. Robin Uthappa also hit him for a 6, and both of them had put on 121 for the first wicket in 14.1 overs. So that really gave you the story. I mean, they were really like sailing smoothly to a very deserved win there at a score of 121 for no loss. And you know, cricket is a game of gross uncertainties, and that really came into the fore. Now I'm going to take you down to that particular story as to what happened after when the score was 121 for 1. At that 121, the 15th over was about to start. In fact, yeah, the 14th over was gone, so 14 overs were ended, and Kolkata Knight Riders was sailing smoothly at 121 for no loss. Robin Uthappa was not out on 65, Gautam Gambhir was not out on 54, and Kolkata Knight Riders required another 50 runs from the next 6 overs, and anybody could have predicted that Kolkata Knight Riders were going to win. But let's see what cricket did, and cricket had other ideas, as this is what happened from that time on. Just have a look, have a listen to this as to what happened. It all started with Watson coming in that particular over. That was the first ball of the 15th over. Gambhir was the person who was taking strike. Gambhir was trying to, with 36 runs, 50 runs required of the 6 overs, Gautam Gambhir tried to hit Watson over the extra cover region. Gambhir was the first to go of the first delivery, as he was caught by Samson of the bowling of Watson. He missed it. He had an outside edge. The keeper behind the stump, Sanju Samson, did the rest, and Gautam Gambhir was a goner, out for 54 of 34 balls with 6 fours and 1 6. And this was the time it all started. The slide started for the Kolkata Knight Riders to lose the match, as with the third delivery in that same over, Shane Watson came in and scalped the very big wicket of Robin Uthappa. Now this was a slower delivery, and Robin Uthappa was trying to, actually he flicked it to the deep square leg, but it's gone, as Bhatia had taken the catch, and Robin Uthappa, after playing a wonderful innings of 65, just 52 deliveries, 5 fours and 3 sixes, departed. So that was the number 2 wicket in that Watson over, and now Watson went on to pick up the 3rd wicket in that over with the 5th delivery, as what he did is he knocked the middle stump of Andre Russell, who was promoted in the batting order, to give some impetus. But 3 wickets in that particular over from Shane Watson. The end of over 15 was a really a very bad over for the Kolkata Knight Riders, and after that the Kolkata Knight Riders never really recovered, because they had something big coming up after that. First it was Shane Watson taking up 3 wickets in that particular 15th over, just conceding 1 run. What an over that was. 3 wickets for 1 run for Shane Watson. And then this is the 16th over which started, which really brought the downfall of the Kolkata Knight Riders, as what really happened was that Praveen Tambe was into the attack. Now Praveen Tambe came in. The first ball that he bowled to Manish Pandey was walking out of the crease to actually hit him, but Tambe was very clever, slipped the ball down the leg side, and Pandey was gone, as Sanju Samson did some quick work there. As Pandey was gone, Stump Samson bowled Tambe for a duck. The second delivery, Yusuf Pathan was in, and Yusuf Pathan was trying to drive Tambe of the very first delivery, and he was very well caught by Tambe, I thought. And that was the in fact, to be very frank, Manish Pandey was out to white ball. As you know, the white could be an extra, but if you're out, you're definitely out, and that's what happened for Pandey. And then Yusuf Pathan was the next to go, and then Tambe was on a hat-trick. As I said, this was the first IPL, first hat-trick in Indian Premier League 2014, as the next batsman to go was another big fish there, Ryan Tendoshat, who could be quite dangerous. And as you know, he had a great IPL in 2013, but what a delivery. To bowl a hat-trick, it's not easy to take a hat-trick, and Praveen Tambe, who came in, and what a ball to get a hat-trick, a beauty of a delivery. It was absolutely tossed up first by Tambe, and it was Tendoshat was coming forward, but while trying to come forward, in fact, what happened was Ryan Tendoshat got the ball, which went on to hit the toe, and that was gone as the umpire raised his finger. And 3 wickets in 3 balls for the Kolkata, 3 wickets in 3 balls for the Rajasthan Royals. Tambe had taken the first hat-trick of the Indian Premier League 2014, and that was it for Ryan Tendoshat. So 3 wickets, and this is the one really, and after that, in that particular over, Praveen Tambe, after taking that hat-trick, gave away just 4 runs of the 4. This was the one which really changed the equation. First was Shane Watson taking taking 3 wickets for 1 run, and then Tambe comes in, picks up a hat-trick in the 16th over for 4 runs. After that it was pretty difficult, even though they had Shakib Al Hasan and Surya Kumar Yadav at the crease. It was not easy, with Faulkner bowling excellently the 17th over for 5 runs. The 18th over, well, Shakib Al Hasan got something going there by cracking 15 runs of the bowling of Saudi by hitting a 6 under 4. And in the 19th over, it was Faulkner once again was keeping a very good line. It was not easy to hit Faulkner, and even Surya Kumar Yadav, who probably could have slammed the ball, was really struggling. If you look at Surya Kumar Yadav's innings, he couldn't do anything. I mean, he couldn't get the ball off the square. He was not out on 9 of 17 balls. Shakib Al Hasan was not out on 21, who did his best, but Surya Kumar Yadav was a bit surprised that he couldn't do anything. So that really said a lot about James Faulkner's bowling, who was absolutely on the money. And then Watson comes in when 17 runs were required, with still a possibility with Surya Kumar Yadav and Shakib Al Hasan at the crease. But Shane Watson came up with a brilliant over in the 20th over with 17 runs required. Probably in 2020 matches you can say that 17 runs are something which you can do, because Shakib Al Hasan and Surya Kumar Yadav both are capable. But Shane Watson what a wonderful over from Shane Watson, absolutely keeping it very tight. If you look at it, oh, what an over. It was an absolutely tight over, and it was just, I thought it was some brilliant over, because if you look at the way Shane Watson bowled, 1 no ball, I'm just trying to see how many runs he gave. He just gave 4 runs when 17 runs were required in the final over, and that ended up, as I said, the Kolkata Knight Riders, who were really looking like going on to a very easy victory, had surrendered the match to the Rajasthan Royals, and Rajasthan Royals winning this T20 match by a margin of 10 runs. Let's have a look at the bowling figures. Watson, brilliant last over with the 3 wickets that he took also in that 15th over. 4 overs no more than 3 for 21. Praveen Tambe with that hat-trick, 4 overs no more than 26 runs on 3 wickets, getting the man of the match award and getting some big scalps at that. Tim Saudi was costly, 3 overs for 33, 4 overs for 27 for James Faulkner. Bhatia was very costly today, with the openers really hitting them hard. 3 overs no made and none for 30. Tevata making his debut today, 2 overs none for 18. So that was the scene, and that is how the match ended, and the Kolkata Knight Riders losing the match. Now I'm going to do a brief lookout, because I do see that this particular match between Delhi Daredevils and Chennai Super Kings is just, in the sense, the first part is over, where Delhi Daredevils have put 178. The last over was something which was where Jadhav hit 2 sixes and won 4 of the last 3 balls to help this Delhi Daredevils finish on 178 for 5 of their 20 overs against the Chennai Super Kings. And Chennai Super Kings were the ones who won the toss and elected to field, and they put 178 for 5 with Kedar Jadhav not out on 29 of 18 balls with 2 fours and 2 sixes, and Jean Paul Duminy 28 of 17 balls with 5 fours. Let's have a look at the card of the Delhi Daredevils here to see what they really did. So just looking at the card very briefly here, because of shortage of time here, dear fans and subscribers. In fact, Delhi Daredevils made 178 for 5 of 20 overs. Quinton de Kock was looking absolutely in his element. The way he was playing with a silken touch. He hit one beautiful 6 of the bowling of Wilford, which looks absolutely effortless, and then he went on to swing Ishwar Pandey into the stands. And what a knock that was! It was a real shame that the opening partnership was ruined by a run out when Murli Vijay was doing the ball watching and Quinton de Kock was run out. But I thought Quinton de Kock would have been quite dangerous today. I wouldn't have been surprised if he had gone on to even score a century. He was looking in such great nick, but he contributed 24 of 16 balls with 3 fours and 2 sixes. I thought the Chennai Super Kings were very lucky to see the back of Quinton de Kock today. He was looking pretty good nick. Murli Vijay made amends there, making 35 of 30 balls with 2 fours and 1 6. Kevin Peterson was bowled by Mohit Sharma, who bowled an excellent line. In fact, he picked up the big wicket of Kevin Peterson, who just faced he faced only 1 ball and he was a goner, bowled by Sharma for a duck, beaten by the pace there. And then Dinesh Karthik today really excelled. After a long time, Dinesh Karthik was really something which was really waiting to happen, and finally that happened. And that was the precise reason this Delhi Daredevils could reach 178, because it was a hard-hit innings from Dinesh Karthik, who went on to slam some beautiful 6s of the bowling of Ravindra Jadeja. He went after Ravichandran Ashwin, Ilfanos. I mean, he really hit some brilliant sixes there. Dinesh Karthik making 51, showing some, I would say, showing some skills of AB de Villiers too, while doing some, playing some innovative scoops. He made 51 of just 36 deliveries, 4 fours and 3 sixes. Shukla was out for a duck, and then it was left to JP Duminy in the end to make 28 of unbeaten 28 of 17 balls with 5 fours, and Jadhav making an unbeaten 29 of just 18 deliveries, 2 fours and 2 sixes, reeling off 2 sixes and a 4 of the last 3 balls of the 20th over to have the Delhi Daredevils innings sit at a very I would say very good score of 178 for 5 the 20 overs. The bowling figures: Elfan 4 overs 1 for 34 was pretty costly. Ishar Pandey 3 overs 1 for 26. Mohit Sharma 1 for 51 was taken to the cleaners. Jadeja 1 for 23. Ashwin 1 for 29, and Dwayne Smith 1 over for 9 runs. So Chennai Super Kings have a real task on hand. But as you know, with this electric openers, Dwayne Smith and Brendan McCullum, anything is possible. And Chennai Super Kings have been doing well, and they're looking pretty strong too. But I think we have a good match on hand here, dear fans and subscribers. With this little cricket update, I'm leaving you. But probably today there might be a second cricket show today, where I will come back and I will speak to you about the Chennai Super Kings reply. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I hope you all enjoyed this cricket show as usual. I hope I gave you all those enjoyment that you wanted. Thanks for subscribing to the Cricket Happenings Show, and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings Show on a regular basis, dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. You guys are absolutely magnificent. Thank you very much. Your host Ram will see you on the second show today. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram today. Thank you.